For any of you who've played the World War I game called Verdun, you'll know the developers behind it really tried to capture an authentic feel of the Western Front, its battles and its trenches. The game has a good following, and as you can see from the footage in the background, it is a great indie title that you can pick up on Steam at the moment. But today, the developers behind this game announced the next stage of their World War I project, a new game or a new expansion called Tannenberg. Now, Verdun, the original title, as the name might suggest, purely focuses on the Western Front and the battles that happened there, whereas Tannenberg will be solely focused on the Eastern Front, the Russian Empire, and their battles against the Central Powers. Now, to be clear, Tannenberg is not an addition to Verdun, it's a standalone expansion to that game. The developers have almost decided to create multiple games under this World War I series banner, so who knows where they might go in the future. So what will Tannenberg actually offer, as opposed to what Verdun already offers? Well, details right now are fairly scarce, but we do have some official information from the developers via a press release. It will offer players a look at the Eastern Front, including the Austro-Hungarian Empire, alongside the Germans, as they fight against the Russian Empire. You'll be battling it out across multiple landscapes, very different in their appearance to what you might have seen in the first game, Verdun. This time you're going to have snowy plains, thick dense forests, mountain pastures, and even burning villages, so plenty of variety there. According to the developers, this standalone expansion will use similar mechanics to Verdun so that players feel at home, but the gameplay and the pacing will be very different. The Eastern Front during World War I, it didn't see the same kind of level of trench warfare that the Western Front did, and that means Tannenberg will show the more mobile, open side of World War I. There will be a full range of new weapons for you to use, all fitting in the theme, so expect to see some Russian rifles for sure, and there will be a new 64-player mode added alongside other modes that you can already play in Verdun. And that new mode will apparently reflect the differing warfare that occurred on the Eastern Front during World War I, taking advantage of some of those more open battlefields. Now, the game is scheduled to arrive later in 2017, so don't expect to see it popping up in the Steam store anytime soon, but that might be a good thing. You have to consider its competition. Battlefield 1 is set to release a DLC themed around the Russian Empire and the Eastern Front very soon, by the end of summer 2017. So if Tannenberg is going to come out before or after that, you'll be able to experience two totally different representations right alongside each other. If both were to come out at the same time, you'd end up missing one or the other. There's no pricing that's been announced for this expansion yet, but according to the World War I game series Twitter account, which is currently acting for both Verdun and Tannenberg, both games will be updated with new fixes and changes at the same time. This was in response to a player who was asking why the development team had decided to create Tannenberg as a standalone expansion as opposed to an inclusive expansion for Verdun. Now, more details of how this relationship between the two titles is apparently coming soon. For me, I think it's a good thing that they've split Verdun and Tannenberg down the middle, and they are their own separate entities, essentially, because it seems that Verdun is going to offer something very different to what Tannenberg is planning to offer players. So, splitting that experience in two and making sure people know which of the two games they're playing, I think is quite important. So another World War I FPS coming to the market very, very soon, and of course, competition breeds innovation. Battlefield 1 and Tannenberg will offer their own flavour of the Eastern Front later this year, and considering I love playing Battlefield 1, and I really enjoyed the time that I've playing Verdun as well, I have no doubt that Tannenberg will be a great title, and it's one I'll definitely be picking up. Let me know what you think of all this down below in the comments section, and if you want to read more about the game, I've put a link to the Steam page down there as well. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.